Hey folks, I've just arrived in Monga in central eastern Bhutan, and today I'm going to be meeting up with the kid that I sponsor here. His name is Sherab. It's been a year since I saw him last. We've traveled halfway around the world to catch up this time. I can't wait to introduce him to you. Okay, so long story short, I first met Sherab when he was a really young monk at a monastery just outside of Monga on my very first trip to Bhutan here with my wife. Fast forward a couple of years, I was passing through the same area 1 year ago in 2018 with my tour group, and it turned into a little epic adventure to try and find him. We finally tracked him down. He'd left the temple, and he was now at a school in town. Now, that's interesting because he's actually a reincarnate Lama, even though he's only 8 years old. So, after finally tracking him down, long story short, his mum came from a tiny village out in the mountains, moved to town to take him from the temple and put him into a modern traditional school, so that he can then get a full rounded education, and when he's 14 or 15 he can choose for himself if he wants to go back into the monastic tradition or stay in a more modern education. I thought that was great, but it does of course mean she has all of these expenses, so I decided then to sponsor his education by giving money to the family so that they can pay for their rent and his school fees and stuff. And yeah, it's been a year since I saw him, so let's go meet him. So it was so nice to meet Sherab and his mum Tinley again. It had, as I said, been a year. They joined us for breakfast at our hotel, and Tinley actually has a new daughter now, so Sherab is a big brother, so I got to meet her and hang out and play as well. To give you a bit more of the backstory, as well as what I've told you, that Sherab's a reincarnate Lama, his father ran away after he was born, so he doesn't know the father, unfortunately. So it's really a pleasure to be able to help support this lovely young family. Now, I'm not a father myself, but it seems like it's fairly common for a kid his age. It took a fair while for him to warm up. The first half an hour or hour of us chatting and getting back in touch, he didn't really speak at all. I guess he was a little bit shy about his English, but he did start to warm up and, play around a bit. Really sweet. His mum brought along tea and snacks and soda and even homemade alcohol. This was breakfast and in a hotel, but it's their tradition that you don't come and meet guests empty-handed. So she brought all of that, and the hotel was fine for her to bring it out and, serve us some of her own eggs and rice and stuff that she had brought from home. It was great timing because the day we were meeting was actually a national holiday. So the hotel staff were out playing one of the national sports of darts, and Sherab was out there playing with some of the local kids as well. I got the impression from his mum that he's kind of a little bit of a bully at school. I guess he's used to being a big shot at the temple. After the darts, we had a little walk around town, and he really started to warm up. We were playing and joking around, and we did start to chat more in English and my tiny little bit of Zonka, the local language that I can speak and understand. Now, I wanted to take him and his mum to buy them some clothes and shoes and that kind of thing from the local stores, but being a public holiday, we only found one that happened to be open, and that was just because they were cleaning, but they let us in. It was actually really fun, and I mean, it's a world away from even my growing up in a small country town. You basically tell them the size, and then whatever they have in stock, either you get it or you don't. It's not like jumping onto Amazon and having 300 different pairs of shoes available. But it quickly emerged that his favorite hobby is playing soccer, that his favorite color is blue, and we managed to find some different shorts and t-shirts and long pants, and we got ourselves some matching yellow belts, and we got ourselves some matching hats and a pretty cool full green soccer outfit. Now, as well as soccer, his mum said Sherab is also interested in his art class, so fingers crossed if he turns out to be interested in photography, I might bring him back a point and shoot camera so he can pursue it next year. Now, sorry to crowbar this in, guys, but if any of you are interested in learning about photography, I'm part of this collective that's put together a big bundle of stuff that's on right now in early October 2019. That's raising money for charity. If you're interested in it, check out the card above or the link below. It's like a $3,000 bundle of photography education for $89, so check it out if you're interested. Also got some different baby clothes for the little sister. It was really, really nice to be able to do that together. After that, Tinley took Sherab and his sister home for a rest in the middle of the afternoon, so the guests and I went out for a walk around town, found some locals playing darts, as well as playing what is actually the national sport of archery. Hey! Now they'll do their dance.
Now you see the victory dance.
We took a little walk around the temple from that town of Monga, not the same temple that Sherab was originally from. And then we all met up again for dinner at the hotel. Now that's my guide Sring. He's a really good friend of mine now. He's probably the best guide I've ever worked with anywhere in the world and just the most lovely man. And it was via him that I've been making this all work. And based on his recommendation, rather than just giving cash, I've kind of become a patron for the mother. She's a really talented weaver. So in her spare time between raising these two kids and working at the market as well, she weaves and the fabrics are beautiful. So, you know, rather than her weaving them and then waiting to be able to find someone who can buy it, essentially I bring what I was planning to give her anyway, and she brings along the fabrics that she's woven, and we don't have any kind of formal agreement at all, but this is just how it's worked out so far. And then essentially I buy everything that she's weaved and, you know, pay of course more than she was hoping for. And then we have some beautiful textiles for ourselves and gifts to give to friends, and it encourages her to continue with her craft, and it's enough for basically for them to live on for the year. It probably sounds a little bit melodramatic and silly, but after the day I did feel like Sherab and I had kind of bonded and really enjoyed hanging out together. I'm gonna keep in contact with his mum throughout the year until I can get back to visit again. Thanks for watching, guys. This was a bit of an indulgence. It's a real honor and pleasure for me to be able to travel the world and do things like this and give back to such a lovely young family. So I'm glad to be able to share it with you too. Cheers. I'll see you later.